Treeville, I, Paranoia and cod distortions, I, seeing cockroaches, snakes, elephants, and mice, the religion of fear and representations of states, angst, terror, fear, reactivity, to thwart the threats, to construct brick fortressings in defending against edges of Moses, Moes and Moes, in laws of hard and soft, symbol, imprints, and heritage tenets of power and fear. Irrational fears in fibrous darkness, the swampiness of moistures and vines and strands of nerve endings, the pan-nick rhythms of angers of non-satisfaction and conflict, as the idea version of self is split off from truings of urgency and natural tendency, the rhythms of sing as natural development being redirected into institutional doctrines of true believers, certainty, rigidity, and trying to make things fit a narrowness of vision and a perspective of limitation of experience. Vulnerability, the density of defenses into role in an idea version of identity, the increasing necessity of intensity to feel alive, as mediation control Barbican fortressing walls in and precludes realness of encounterings. The religion of fear compels construction of a manufactured self in a belief behavior to guard against vulnerability. The force of controllings of the law of human development, L. vel legis in a law of laws of chi, breath, prana in A, and Venus, beauty, sexuality in L, as the woman satisfied or the woman filled with creative energies. The religion of fear becomes the army of the status quo as inertia, the rule of the few and the power of manipulations as people are compelled into branks of being silenced. It is a psyche brank of speech punishment as the tongue is restrained in consumptions and limited in balanced performances of moistures, words, and expressions. Dot throat terrors of too much being jammed down one's throat, woundedness in throat, angst, channelings of failure to thrive in breathing, and a relaxed truth of suck presence. The closed circularity, belief, behavior of Barbican limitation and being in the shame fortress grip of the hungry ghosts of appetites. Branks, a device consisting of a headpiece with a flat iron bit with which to restrain the tongue formerly used to punish a shrew or to scold. It is shame as a brank that suffocates. It is powerlessness and senses of not good enough that self-censor as expression is channeled into familiar, safe and sound, reactive expressions of the like-mindedness of inner deadness. The us and them conformance in an oceanic unconsciousness of shadow controllings as only one at a time transforms in heart pathing out of the environment of market share zonings of electronic herding. To see the rhythms of denial, repression, and falseness in desire and image control as impression management that redirects sexuality into the woman filled instead of the woman satisfied. A hysteria, self-absorption, and vanity fears that makes control as power greater than love. It is power seeking and wanting to be wanted, seduction, manipulation, bait and switch, tease and squeeze that is completely different from chewings of urgency. I, seeing mediums of dissociation and delusional endurance coping in corridor meridian points of light patterns of body electric as amplified and accentuated in usefulness, the false ka performers in humiliation, shame, reactivity, redirections of life force into savantings, the great one out of many opera of magic. An exception makes the rule and facilitation of electro-pillars of resonance as ka electronic surrogates, the realm of imitations and expendability, as the more there are of you, the less you are of any value. I, seeing sound minds and sound bodies becoming sound as canalization of gossip, as mindsets of sound, flowing in sound blindness of hypno, transeros, trancings, and exaggerate the original and reduce the copies in ways of mimesis. the parade of emulation and stupidity as buy this and become this, the quests of imitation as one believes someone or something else is how one is supposed to be. It is desire as a strategist of control, for maybe it is better not to be your own reality. It is failure to thrive as truth of suck, truth of urgency, as most remain hidden in dreams that echo deeply, dreams that sustain a fantasy version of identity as belief behavior, dreams that guard against the vulnerability in a climate of image-making that penetrates and injures the psyche, dreams that compel Barbican wardings and thwartings as she sleeps in being filled with sexualized ka and lacks presence of a real sexual awakening. I, seeing mistrust in an air electromagnetic, the signals that block memory of the moment and stop criticalness in a form of psyche hypnotism, in dreams echoing deeply where power quests are greater than love, the acting in and acting out in the dramas of making a scene, for the Barbican must be held in its zonings of mediation control, the leverage madness of externalization identity as we are the children of an electronic colony of sensimora echoing in narcissism firewater flamings of intensity density. Ka, the double, as electronic surrogate and avatar, medium, savant, role, performer. Ka as aristocracy, medium state of magnetic field sexualized intersections of hysteria excitement. Ka as zoning meridian collisionism of oppositional and overlap shared resonance of opportunity to become more so or let go of all that is not one. Ka as moment of being hit by lightning, being charged in name frame usefulness, the Ka state of sound in a crisis risk opportunity moment to encounter the abyss of nothingness, emptiness in O as part of a journey of self in Beoka, as Ba is realization of soul out of the mediation controls of Ka, as Barbican corridorings of shame in compliances of the religion of fear. I, seeing fertility, chasing replication in an inertia of mirrorings of self-absorption in trying to justify and prove worthiness as leverage, 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 to see giant waves of echoes in massacre madness facilitating, letting off steam from Barbican shame fortressings of inertia maintenance of closed circularity mindsets, the controllings of the shadows of vanity fears on inner cave walls. It is justifying and leverage as the speed of building pyramids fosters escapism into drugs, dreams, and high school sports mentality, sex, rock and roll, fantasy, dreaming of they only dream they are awake. It is a loss of real spirit and channelings of energies into war, gossip, and sports as identity, the insignificant senses of identity melding into group, nation, team as one seeks commonality, comfort in an oceanic unconsciousness. I, seeking real and seeing massacre madness in the ongoing violence of the hypno-circus of the electronic colony, the tempos of the rule of the few, of the few, of the few, of the few, managing the religion of fear, the doctrine of scarcity, rarity, and an exception that makes the rule of divide and conquer into you can't beat them so you have to go along to get along. The just keep doing what you're doing crises manipulativeness that sustains. Wall Street takes care of its own. I, paranoia, the ongoing fight of distilling essences and encountering threat of annihilation as one is hit by lightning, the remote-directed electromagnetic radio wave signal of amplification and accentuation of traits, talents, behaviors that are of value. I, paranoia, to face the closed circularity mindset of vanity, fears, of containerings, of inner shadows, in Barbican shame castling.